Let me try this again. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna try this one more time. My connection is real good, so I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna try this again, y'all. I'm gonna try this one more time. One more time. Let's try this again. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna make these announcements again really quick. Like I was saying, children under the age of 17 will not be permitted at the National Harbor. That law went into effect yesterday, okay, November the 20th. So after 5 o'clock, no children under the age of 17 will be permitted into the National Harbor without an adult, okay? Let me try to invite Miss Angela on again. Okay. Let's see. You here?
Yeah, I am finally.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I got a rack of them yesterday from like 3 or 4 spots. So, yes. Celebrating the 50th anniversary of my 21st birthday and loving it.
Okay. All right. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday again. I hope you enjoyed your day. I did. In spite, of what's going on, make the best of it. But I know you got a lot to talk about.
Well,
and I don't know so let's get busy.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to say is to you. I know I put it on Facebook, but I want to share it to you, with you and your God, is that be humble means recognizing that you're not here just to show how important you can become, but to see how big a difference that you can make. And to me, you just embody that. And I just want everybody to know that out loud from me to you. Keep doing what you're doing. You inspire me. So
thank you. Thank you. I've been working hard. We trying to hurry up and get this get everything filmed and everything edited so that we can come out, so that they can come out with a premiere trailer.
Right.
So I've been extra hard to hurry up because we are behind schedule due to COVID. So yeah, it's been kind of hard, but we almost done, and it's going to be coming out next year. And as soon as they get the premiere trailer together, I will be sharing.
I know you better.
Yeah. So what's up on the politics front?
Okay. All right. First thing I just want to tell everybody, because we texted a little bit back and forth, even though Biden's not going to be in until January, but these numbers in the different states are spiking up. So the governors can put out a mandate for their particular state, as can the county executives for their area. If they think their area is heavier impact, they can shut it down. So I just want everybody to know that, because a lot of people are looking at, well, Biden said, it's not going to be, and Donald said the same thing, it's not going to be a national shutdown. He's going to attack the coronavirus. But if numbers keep spiking the way that they are, as you can see all across the country, different governors are putting different restrictions down in their particular states. And even some of these red states are shutting down because it is that bad out there.
Right.
That being said, I just want to remind folks of something that I saw on the internet. Prevention is better than a cure. A mask is better than a ventilator. Home is better than an ICU.
That's right.
And 6 feet apart is better than 6 feet under. And I'm saying that, folks, because I have seen COVID up close and personal. When you look into your child's face and your child feels like she cannot do anything else, she feels like if she moves, she's going to die, and she says those words to you, that is such a big eye opener. I wish I could have, and even at my age, I wish it could have been me instead of her, because she got 3 little children. I don't have any people at my house. So again, guys, wear those masks. If that is the thing that you can do to stop the spread, to stop harming somebody else, and to stop bringing harm on yourself, just do it. If washing your hands, because every time I open my door to get a package off the front porch or to grab the mail, when I come back in, I'm washing my hands, because I don't know where that other person has been. Uh, Stay as much as you can. Just go out for necessary stuff. Of course, if you got a doctor's appointment, go. If you need food, definitely go. But just to go out and lollygag, don't do that, because you can commiserate, if you will, across Zoom and across Duo. You can see some faces, so it won't be so lonely, as opposed to hearing a voice. That's why I really like this, because I can see you. But and just stay 6 feet apart when you do go out. Ain't no whole lot to that. That is what stops the spread. So I wanted to put that out up front, close and personal to everybody before we even get into this politics stuff. Because as you guys have seen earlier this week, we the people have power. I don't know that across the news clip earlier this week in Detroit, Trump was calling people under the table, if you will, inviting them to the White House, trying to convince them to change their vote, because that's how the Electoral College votes. Generally, the law states that the popular vote in the state should go to the winner. The winner takes all, basically. And there were 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats on the team in Michigan, if you will. But when they were at an impasse, and when the Republicans didn't want to, or were thinking about not going along with the popular vote, the state had a Zoom call with those folks on it, and the people gave them the business. Long story short, he couldn't convince Michigan. So I'm saying all that to say is, when you vote, your voice does matter. You don't know how powerful it is until you start using it. And that being said, I look at flipping the Senate, and those 2 seats in Georgia are crucial going to the next administration. Because if we don't get those 2 seats, we're going to be, and Mitch McConnell lives, okay, we're going to be in the same kind of bottleneck that we're in now. Now, granted, I'm reasonably certain, and I'm sure that the major will correct me if I'm wrong, reasonably certain that when Biden-Harris goes in, if by some small, I don't even want to speak that into existence, but an executive order, that's a long story short. But we need to, if you know folks in the state of Georgia who will be 18 years old by or before January the 5th, they should register to vote right now, okay? You can also go online and request an absentee ballot in the state of Georgia right now. There's a record number of those ballots going out, and fortunately, Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump could not change that Republican state, not AG, Secretary of State, whatever it is in Georgia, the guy who's in charge of the election. They could not, he's a patriot, he's a Republican, and he might be a little bit of a redneck, but he knows that we're in a stage in this country where we either gonna do the right thing or we not. And he is choosing to do the right thing. So, and he says, and he's been telling folks, don't just move to the state of Georgia so you can vote. Don't do that. Because, if you live in Georgia for 30 days, you can register and vote. Don't do that. But we have enough power down there if folks who have a family in that state reach out to them and encourage them to register and to vote. You can find out all of that information at Georgia, GEORGIA.gov, vote-2020-runoff-elections. But if you put Georgia.gov, that'll pop up anyway. And for those of us who don't live in Georgia, because again,
why don't you leave those numbers in the comments and I'll pin them there?
Okay, that sounds real good. Thank you so much for that. And for those of us who live outside of Georgia, I know that Facebook always puts on, if it's your birthday, donate to this charity, that charity, or the other charity. Of course, charity begins at home. $BLAQROSE2. So you can support our effort, because we're not in here for profit. We're in here to help us as a community be a better and stronger community. And you can't do that without the information. So keep the information coming. We too need your support. Nobody is paying us. We thrive on the goodwill donations of people who follow Black Rose and who follow me. So please keep that in mind as well. But and if you got dollars, shoot it there. But you can also shoot your dollars to Warnock, WARNOCK, FORSENATE.com. And yes, I will include that in the comments as well. And or Elect John, ELECTJON.com. If you ain't got money, okay, you can get in touch with standupamerica.com, all one word, because they need letter writers. They need folks to send text, and you can phone bank, and you can phone bank from anywhere in the country. But this is a matter of life and death. And I think that people need to really understand and grasp that every single election that we have is a national election. Because every senator from every state, every House of Representatives member from every state comes together to collaborate about what is going to be best for all of us. So, this election impacts you so much bigger than you can ever imagine. Because if we're going to move forward in this country, we need some folks who at least can listen to what we got to say. Right now, we ain't got that. So what do you say to that? We don't have that right now.
No, right.
So so we have to work to get it. It's no sitting on the sidelines or this one, just like this presidential election. It's no sitting that out. Because, I was sitting here thinking earlier that, it's stuff that I truly don't understand. That, and you and I have talked, and folks on my feed have talked. My brother got sick in February. I shared that with you. And he died in April. I couldn't attend his funeral. I couldn't go to the hospital or to his house to see him. I had my sister-in-law was stricken with COVID in May. We thought she was getting better in the hospital, but yeah, and she succumbed. She died on May the 19th. Her daughter, my niece, contracted COVID as a result of taking her mom to the hospital. She's a nurse. But we could not attend the funeral of you and none of that stuff. And, you know, I just think about my other sister-in-law, had another sister-in-law that was non-COVID. She died. And I was blessed to be included in that bunch because it was big enough where we could socially distance, mask wearing, and that kind of thing. And only a limited number of people got in. But what I do not understand is how the leadership in our country, your president, he wears masks when he feels like.
Mm-hmm.
He goes from place to place to place to place. And he's really a super carrier. He's going, yeah, and I don't understand why the rules for regular people like us, I don't understand why he doesn't follow it. I don't understand why those folks will not understand that this stuff that they're doing, you know, downgrading masks, encouraging people to, you know, have a lot of folks at their house at any given time, particularly over the holiday, and that kind of thing. Why they don't see?
Because he's an idiot.
Huh?
He's an idiot. I said because he's an idiot and he's not a good role model to set any examples. You know what I'm saying? I don't even expect for him to set an example as doing something, as trying to, you know, lead the troops.
Yeah. And I get that. And it seems like somebody is going to have to die. That's what I was thinking. Somebody in his family is going to have to die before he gets it. But I really don't think he'll get it even then. And another thing too, and I hope April and Witherspoon listen to this. I'm wondering if once January comes, could we, the people, sue him? He'll be out of office. For these are crimes against humanity. He is contributing to mass murder, and his enablers are doing that as well. That's a legal question. That is a question I am looking to get information on, because that is going to be my hope. If it can be done, I'm gonna find a way to get that done, because what he's doing is not just wrong, it is criminal. And not enough of us are not enough of us really understand the gravity of it, I think. Also, we need to, and everybody who's listening, share this with 5 of your friends, tell them to share it with 5 of their friends. We need to burn up the switchboard at the United States Senate. Every single Republican who is in there, to tell them to get this HEROES Act passed. People are dying. People are hungry. And I don't want to see it turn into a grapes of wrath situation where people start turning on each other because they can't get to those folks on the Hill are pretty well insulated. You know, they got guards at doors and that kind of thing. And basically they're not doing anything anyway, but they're not doing anything because they're not hearing from us enough. They need to hear from us every single day. Every day I have.
Now is the time. I was telling them now is the time to start participating. Okay,
Yes,
you done cast your vote. Now it's time to start making the phone calls and pushing some of these issues.
Exactly.
You know, start immediately.
Exactly. And you've seen the power of the people. You just saw it this week in Detroit. You've seen that. Lindsey Graham should, because I did look that up, election, meddling with an election is a felon. When this turns over, he needs to be facing some criminal acts in, yeah, he needs to be charged. He
Right.
needs to be indicted. He doesn't have the protection, if you will, that the office of the president has. He needs to be indicted for election tampering because that's what he did in the state of Georgia. And he's threatened, or his cronies have threatened that state's attorney's family because he wouldn't do something illegal for the Republicans. And you know,
Right.
I'll just go go to FBI.gov because it says that election fraud is a federal crime. If it includes one or more federal candidates on a ballot, which we just had, and an election official abuses his office, which is what Lindsey Graham did. These are things, people, that we have the power to make a difference in. And you might say, oh, Lindsey Graham is in South Carolina. It does not impact me. It impacts you.
Right.
Everything that happens legislatively on the Hill from any state, input from all 50 states, impacts you. So you got to lift up your voice. You absolutely have to do that. And again, if you don't have those numbers, you can get those numbers at hrlibrary.umn, that's the University of Minnesota.edu. They have the most current list of emails and telephone numbers for everybody in the United States Senate. We have got to start burning those lines up, especially folks who, you know, who are working from home or who are at home. Whatever you're doing, you got to start calling. You don't understand the power of your voice. I understand it because I've seen it.
Right.
And I've done it. You got to understand your voice has power. And just think of how many voices you can get to chime in to back up your voices to make those calls. Then and only then you're going to see some change. So anyway, I'm a woosah. Yeah, I'm telling you, I just want to fight these folks. And the more that I look at it, over the past 50 years, over 50 years, when we talk about criminals in our government, in our federal government, 89 of them are Republicans, one Democrat. And the one Democrat was charged with perjury because he was a white boy who went after a black man in the 1990s. He went after Mike Espley, told a bunch of lies. And you just can't do that. A lot of people have been.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can. A lot of people have been complaining, you know, online about the court cases, and all of these cases are getting thrown out of court. Okay, why? Because when you go into people, you have to have evidence. You got to be able to back up what you say. So they've been going into court and say, well, you know, what's your argument? You said it's election fraud. Is there election fraud? They're saying no there because they know that if they lie in court, there's going to be some consequences. But they come right out to a microphone and exercise that Second Amendment right. So they can lie to the public. Some laws got to be on the books that if you're in an office that powerful, you can't lie to the public. Because that's why they're having all the confusion that we are having. But even with that, we got to work around that. We got to get involved. We got to stay involved. We got to persist until we succeed. We have got to be responsible for our ballot. We put that ballot in for change, for Biden. So we have to support that. Again, we don't elect saviors, people. We can't just say, okay, I did my part and point at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and say, okay, y'all do it. It's us. It's we the people. We have got to realize the power that we have, that our voice has in government, and we have to take that power and run with it. We have to run forward with it because nobody's going to save us but us.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me go get something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. All
Okay.
Right.
So hopefully y'all taking down all of this information. Like I said, just because we're not in the studio tonight, we are still at liberty to give you this information. So take it down, make your necessary phone calls that you need to make. Okay, start participating in the process of voting. It does not just stop with casting your ballot. We've gotten past that. We have had a different type of election this go around. You know what I'm saying? A different type. So take in everything that has happened the past 4 years. Take it all in. Understand that we have some things that we need to change, and we have to start with us. We have to start playing a big part in these with these politicians, because that's something that we have not did, and that shows what we have been going through for the past 4 years. Y'all know that was y'all fault. Okay.
Yeah.
That. I'm gonna move on past that because I don't hold grudges. Okay. Yeah. Pissed off, and y'all know y'all have to continue to participate.
Like I say, I can't wait to get back downtown, and I see us being able to do that probably around May, June next year, because I really believe that a solution is here. And for those folks who may have not have been following the what you call that, Operation Warp Speed, is that what Trump was calling it? Pfizer did not participate in that.
Right.
Okay. I think the other drug company did, but I know Pfizer did not. So, but again, I just remember the Tuskegee experiment. So I'm not trying to jump and do nothing until it gets proven. And a good number of people get through it unscathed, if you will. So, but I just can't seem to get these politicians off my mind who have just been derelict in their duties. Lindsey Graham ain't the only one. Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, it's a rack of them who've just been derelict because they see the crimes and they are choosing to do nothing about it. And that's why I'm driving home. I'm going to be playing this hard until January the 5th, that we got to get those other 2 seats. We have got to get those other 2 Senate seats, because then it'll be 50-50. And the tiebreaker is the vice president. So it's just kind of like something else had happened where it was the Democrats got a couple of Republicans to come over to their side, but Mike Pence broke the tie. It's that same kind of thing. But the thing about these folks who are coming in is that they have shown us, or they really have. Well, they have shown us some stuff, but more than that, they have preached the people's agenda. I know for me, I'm not for kids and changes. I'm not for separating parents from their children. I'm not for mass incarceration, especially for petty crimes. I am for folks getting a break on college tuition, because that has turned out to be nothing but a racket. I'm for that. This is the kind of stuff. I'm for health care for everybody. Nobody should get sick in the richest country and not be able to go to the doctor. Just like nobody in the richest country in this world should be begging for food on the ship. That should
Yeah.
not be in this country. Nobody in the richest country in the world, given that we have so much vacant housing all across this country, and a lot of people who have the skill set. I'm talking about doing carpentry work, electrical work, and that kind of thing, to renovate these houses so people can move in and get them off the street. That happened in D.C. under Marion Barry. I don't know if you remember that. That happened in D.C. under Marion Barry. If it happened in D.C., take that model and move it nationwide. You see that it works. And these folks who are coming into the most powerful office in government share those same values, but they will not be able to do anything other than ruling by executive order until we get some folks who will listen to us, to we the people in the United States Senate. And we have that opportunity to do that with those 2 seats in Georgia. Runoff, which is scheduled to take place on January the 5th. But folks need to register to vote by December the 7th in order to participate in that election. I don't know that Georgia has a same day, register and vote. I don't know how that works, but again, I'm gonna provide the website. Rose is gonna put it on the page for you guys to go and look at that. Also, guess what else I learned this week, Blaq? Trump, now you saw him on whatever that special was that woman ate his lunch. He owed Savannah Guthrie, $421 million to foreign government. Well, wait a minute. And he acknowledged that he owed that. They found another, Forbes magazine found that he owed an additional $447 million. So he owes foreign government about $1 billion. That is why he is so desperate to get in. And that's coming due within the next 4 years. If he maintained power, he could keep taking our money and all kinds of stuff. If he maintained, and still had that same Senate, he could still continue to do all this criminal stuff that they've been allowing him to get away with.
Right.
But when I found that Forbes magazine article, it said, oh my goodness, it's almost $1 billion.
Oh, $1 billion.
Yeah.
A con man for sure. A con man for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that being said, man, I just can't, I don't know how I can drive home the importance of this other than knowing that repetition is the mother of all learning. I'm just gonna keep putting it out there and putting it out there. And as much as they put disinformation out, we have to push back with the right information. We have to.
Right.
Have I run my mouth long enough? No, I'm just, this COVID.
Tired of running mine's time for the day. I'm tired. I've been running mine all week. And pretending to run it and everything else, okay?
And
you know how acting is, okay? I've been pretending to run it and doing acting calls and everything with this thing right here. I'm telling you.
And you have been doing a fine job too, if I must say so myself. I also want to encourage folks, I get brain farts when I'm talking, but also want to encourage folks, don't buy into that narrative that half the country is for Trump and half of them are not. That is so not true.
Wrong. Exactly. Yeah.
We put some numbers out last week, census numbers. 328,200,000 citizens in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
The minors, the minor children tally 74,100,000. This was as of last week. The prison
Right.
population, even though Maine, DC, and Vermont allow folks in prison to vote, I just took the whole number away, 2.1 million. And I came back with 252 million folks. Now, Biden got 80 million votes because Georgia got certified as of yesterday. So he got 80 million. Trump is still hovering around 74 million. He's under 74 million. So that leaves about 99 million folks who did not vote. But let's not just assume that they didn't vote because they didn't care. Keep in mind, 300,000 folks in Wisconsin were purged right before election day. Keep in mind that mailboxes were pulled off the streets. Votes, there are still some cities who would not allow votes to be counted if they arrived after election day. So don't take that half the country is this way and half the country is not. I really firmly, wholeheartedly believe that it's so many more of us than it is of them. And if you ask any statistician, you can always find 20, if you get a big number, 25% is always going to be off the beam.
Right.
So, yeah. So just don't, because a lot of times we buy into narratives and we give up before we get started. We can't afford to do that. We can't afford to buy into other folks' narratives. Let's look with.
Been buying into the bullshit for too long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at what you want and what's best for your family, and act accordingly as it relates to contacting your elected officials. And I'm talking about not only at the national level, but at the state and local levels too, because politics basically starts locally. When you want the big stuff, like we need with this HEROES Act and healthcare, that's a national thing. But they can't do it without our support. We have got to get busy. We have got to get engaged, get involved, and we've got to stay involved. As we were talking the other week, I thought it was like really ironic that in the state of Georgia, the district that put Biden over the top was Lewis's district. I even look throughout my family, and I think maybe that's why I may be a little more encouraged than other people, because there's a whole lot of mixed marriages with my nieces and nephews. And they have mixed couple friends and that kind of thing. You can see it in the mainstream media now. I don't know if you have a lot of TV, but SVU last week really hit home in that some police, good people, aren't even aware of the biases that they exercise until he calls it to their attention.
Right.
I look at what other program we're looking at? SWAT and Chicago PD, the biases within the departments, where the Black guy who told the truth was getting beat up and harassed by the folks in blue. I'm saying all that to say is that these demonstrations, the Black Lives Matter, that's happened all year, the different demonstrations that happen in the different cities, as it relates to Black folks, the carnage of Black folks, all across this darn country. It's making its way to the mainstream media. So officials will have to pay attention, especially when we rubber stamp it with the phone call. Again, we don't elect savior. I'll drive that point home. We just can't elect somebody, point at him, and say, you do it. It's not you, Joe Biden, the person. It is we, the people. What does I have? Yeah. Oh, major big thing. And even Fox is attending to cut back. But another thing too, we got time, folks. We got to start calling these news stations and tell them to stop giving airtime to these liars and these propagandists.
Nonsense. Exactly. They don't even give the missing persons a little time, but they want to give time to this nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. And we got so many bigger fish to fry. Like I just was reading in Time magazine, the online Time magazine, that there was a shooting in Wisconsin. Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Nobody died, but that's news. I ain't seen that on TV. This guy down in Louisiana, God, I can't think of his name. I don't. Q Bobby Charles. Did you think about that?
No.
It's they're not letting a lot of it out, but the initial information that came out was that they're not showing pictures because this guy was his remains look like Emmett Till's. Tortured and beat up and that kind of thing. But these are things I think that, instead of feeding into McEnany and Trump and Rudy Giuliani with his guy, this is stuff that we need to be aware of, pay attention to, so we will have a point of reference when we want to start taking action on those items. We already know that anybody named Trump, if their lips are moving, they're lying. We already know that. He is on his way out, giving him the oxygen to do the crazy stuff. Because he is really, I believe, doing this to incite some violence. I really believe that. And as long as our military people know that, in the espionage, I know that, everybody knows that, but it does not have to be that way.
Right.
FBI, military, y'all pay attention to that bullshit. Let we the people pay attention to the stuff that impacts our community. I just, and I don't know if you read about the Trump supporter in Texas. He was a policeman, Black guy, breaking up a fight. Police shot him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So, when I think about that stuff, it's not the crime, is not what we do as far as racist police are concerned. And I'd even go as far as the Trump administration and their allies, enablers, and cronies. It's not what we do, it's who we are.
Right.
That's our problem. There has been a lethal, and when I'm talking about the police now, there's been a lethal persistence against us by the police department. So I think that, systemic racism versus policing, because the police has been out of control since the Watts riots. I think they've been out of control since the 90s. But and whenever people wake up, they wake up, and that's why we have to keep on coming to them with the information, because people are waking up.
Right.
If people don't have the right information, if they don't have information, they can't take action. If you don't know, you don't know. And that's why I think what we do is it's not only important, I think it's a matter of life and death to
Right. Yeah.
communities all around the country. I believe that to the core of my spirit. So I want to just continue to come and just take people to school. Again,
Mm.
when you wake up, you wake up. But it won't be because you don't have information. It won't be because me and Rose ain't there. It's not going to be
That's
because.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's because you did not listen. You don't want to take all of this stuff in. Like I'm
Mhm.
telling you right now, you need to be taking all of this stuff, like digesting all of this
Mhm.
information and using it for the greater
Right.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you're not even doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your children and your children's children. It's like
Right.
I was telling my son, the best thing you can get your kids for Christmas is a $5 or $10 donation to Georgia. That's the best
Mm-hmm.
gift you can give. The best gift you can give your kid is to contact one of those campaigns in Georgia and volunteer to make to send texts or to
Mm-hmm.
phone for them. Because a lot of people just need to be encouraged.
Right.
And again, a lot of those folks really don't know. Again, like many of us didn't know at a particular point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you know, you just can't sit on the information. You can't just sit back. You can't just sit back and do nothing
Exactly. Yeah.
when you know something that can help. Um, when you do things like that, you're part of the problem. You are
Mm-hmm.
definitely part of the solution. And
Yeah.
again, to encourage folks now who are already registered in Georgia, because my husband has a lot of family down in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Absentee ballots, y'all can start requesting those right now. And again, if I'm reading the website correctly, you can order them online. Ain't no reason for you not to do that.
That's right.
No reason. So there we go. I think I'm empty now.
You got it all out?
Yeah, let me see. Let me not turn another page because I'm find something else to talk about. Because I have my handy dandy notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Taking notes off news shows every day because I know a lot of people. This 4 years has been the most exhausting in
Mm-hmm. It's
watching
been
Donald
exhausting
Trump.
for all of us. I swear it has. It has been one of them. Yeah, I mean, these 4 years have been. Yeah, it's been very overwhelming. And I
Mhm.
know we're at the end of them, but they just can't end no faster. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I
Yeah.
wish
And
we could.
I,
I he
I've been
is trying
following him
to.
on Twitter. I've been following the devil on Twitter, and I've been irritating him and leaving little nasty posts. I do it every chance I get. I do it every chance I get. Every time he lies about he's winning the election,
Uh-huh.
he's delusional. He's very delusional and
He
sick
really
in
is.
his head.
Yeah,
If
but
that, if
that
don't
people.
nobody see that, it's something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. They see it. I don't. I just can't understand how watching people die is okay.
Right.
And most of those casualties, Rose, are coming from the people who support it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you looked at, there is a documentary on, I want to say it's HBO, but it's called Seduced. It's about Nexium. That
Mm-hmm.
they started off as a person advising folks on personal development, and they took a little bit from the Amway model and Tony Robbins, and they mixed those together and came up with Next,
Mm-hmm.
which was supposed to be a personal development um, group. But trafficking cult.
Wow.
Yeah. And Catherine Oxenberg, actress, and I think that she was on Dynasty way back in the day when it first came on. Her daughter got mixed up with that, and she moved mountains to get her daughter out of the cult. I'm saying all that to say we need to reach out to her because she needs to talk to that 70
Mm-hmm.
successful in it, but
Right.
she didn't quit. She found out, she looked up stuff and found out, just like I found out on the FBI.gov, that election tampering is a felony. And if you ain't the president, you can be punished.
Wow.
Yeah. So we need some what do you call it? What do you call it? Come on now, you know what I'm talking about. When somebody grabs your mind and you have to take the information.
Deprogram.
That's it.
Deprogram. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They have some. They have some. I mean, they have those underground, a lot of underground deprogramming situations. Yeah, where the families get together. Because a lot of times, like I used to read up on missing person stories and stories of sex trafficking and things. And there have been a lot of families who have gotten together and went and rescued their loved one.
Right.
So from these situations, because, a lot of times when we telling the police stuff, we might even have a location on an individual. We tell them it takes so much for them because they can't just go and kick down somebody's door.
Right.
A lot of them, I don't know what has been going on. I touch bases on a lot of this stuff in this documentary because it's like, I guess I'm doing so much because I've been real about the situation. I've been real about it. I had the producer tell me, she was like, Blaq, you are the first person out of everybody we done interviewed that said that the police is not doing enough.
Right.
Because they're not.
Right. But again, that's one thing that I truly do believe. Black folks call the police more than anybody. We do. We just do. But the police can't handle everything. They can't handle.
No, they can't. But it's getting to the point where they're not trying to handle nothing. That's what it's getting to the point of. It's like, and it's been way before they start talking that defund the police crap and all that stuff. Because look at the numbers of unsolved murders. Look at all the missing people. You know what I'm saying? That we have all over the country. So they have been doing that for a very long time. They have been lacking in doing what they supposed to do when it comes to law enforcement, and it should have been called out. Like DC shouldn't have murders dating all the way back to 1954. It just shouldn't be, they shouldn't get to the point where they're not answering the phone to these families. When they call trying to find out what's going on with their loved one's case. I mean, that's been going on a lot. And I know for certain, because that's how far I go when it comes to these cases. They're just not stories for me. I try to do what I can for these families, and I know that they are lacking in a lot of stuff. So I'm just happy to be able to really bring some attention to the lack thereof, when it comes to this situation. And it's like, I just have so much that I have researched that I can I have facts, and that's what I've been bringing to light. Because I'm sick of, I'm tired of people not being held accountable for not jobs, because people's lives are really at risk.
Exactly. But just keep in mind, though, policing, the police were put into play, if you will, to keep Black folks, to keep slaves in check.
Mm-hmm.
And that mentality has been over the years. The police, like I said, they've been out of control for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And what we, the people, need to realize is that they're out of control because we didn't say it. And this
Yeah.
is the first
Like I'm
time.
telling you, they are letting us not, even when it comes to killing each other. That's why people think that, crimes are not getting solved,
Right.
when it comes to us. Why do we have over 26,000 unsolved murders? You know what I'm saying? Like that, it just doesn't make no sense, but it's systematically failing us like all the way around the board. December the 5th, Gladys Witherspoon will be in the studio. We're going to have a Know Your Rights seminar.
All right now.
Yeah, we're going to do the Know Your Rights seminar that's already scheduled for December the 5th. So the first Saturday in December, we got our Know Your Rights seminar. That's going to be take place at 5 p.m. So I would love for you all to tune in. That's going to be something that, especially Black folks, you do not, all folks, you do not want to miss out on this information. Ms. Witherspoon is our newly elected circuit court judge for Prince George's County. So one of the 5 Black judges who have been elected in Prince George's County. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with. She has been doing this seminar for 7 years. I'm trying to get people involved in this because I think that it will be a really good thing. We need to know. This is information that we need to know. Yeah, the same information, basically, a little bit of information like we had gotten when we signed up and we completed those 13 weeks of the Citizen Police Academy. But this is going to be a seminar. It's free to the public. We're going to start doing this very periodically because, like I said, I want to do my part on Black Roses Garden Community Radio to continue to educate, continue to, help Black folks out, and so we won't continue to stay stuck.
That's it. Information, they say information is power. Acting on the correct information, acting on that information is
right. That's right. That's right.
And you would like for people, that is your holy, if you got a kid or if you have Black skin, it is your holy obligation to tune in on the 5th.
That's right. Tune in December the 5th. She reached out to me. She asked me, she said, Rose, I would love to do a, Know Your Rights seminar on Black Rose Garden Community Radio. I told her I'm with it.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
That we need. So that day I'm going to be live on all social media platforms.
Right.
Including YouTube, so that y'all can get this information.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be live on all social media platforms so that y'all can be able to get this information. So be ready, have your pens and paper ready on December the 5th for our first installment of the Know Your Rights seminar hosted by the newly appointed Circuit Court Judge, Black, female, power to the people, Miss Gladys Witherspoon, okay? So, we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done.
And folks do need to know how the court, because, a lot of folks, skip that portion on their ballot because they really don't understand or know the points. I know I was one, even within the past 15 years, who used to do it eeny, meeny, miny, mo, until I started doing a deep dive until the other Black judge, Judge April, gave me some information that I had no clue of. Didn't know the importance of me, voting for a judge in, anywhere. So again, that, and I would like people on the bench, and I know that, well, everybody's got their little history, but I would like people on the bench who look like me because the propensity of them understanding that particular situation is a lot higher than folks who don't
Yeah.
right now. We are the ones who need the help. It's like the Black community in this country is like the house on the block is on fire. All the other houses are real cool, but we need the attention to that house that's on fire. That's what we need at the local, state, and federal level, and in the court system. We need people to know what we go through so they can make a more equitable, if you will, decision on whatever outcome that may be dished out to us. We need that. So,
yeah, this was good. This was good. Yeah.
But I'm gonna be coming on every day, Rose, from now to election time, because this is a matter of life and death, especially for Black and Brown America, that we get those two seats.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I'm beat. Okay, I'm drinking tea. That's how tired I am. I done had 2 cups of tea. I'm drinking tea.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm drinking. I'm still celebrating my birthday. You all right?
It came out my nose and everything. Yeah, maybe I need a drink, but I know that I'm gonna relax in the bath a little later. I'm gonna get in the tub and take me a bath, and I'm taking it in early tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the major asked me what the HBO documentary was about. So if you could just share with folks what that is about, so they can look for it on HBO, that would be great.
Well, it's going to be a documentary on Blaq and missing. It's going to feature the cases of our high-profile Blaq and missing cases. Okay, one of them being Relisha Rudd.
Right.
That's going to be one of the focus cases, one of the featured cases, as well as Akia Eggleston, Keisha Jacobs, Turner Woods Jr. Most of my cases, and I have had so much leeway. I want to thank them for that because I have been able to add a lot of my cases, even the newer ones, into this documentary. So for the feature the cases, we're gonna get kind of deep. Okay. We're going to talk about some things that I know I am, things that people don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be emotional. It's going to be one of those emotional documentaries because y'all are going to hear from the families of the missing, just the trials and tribulations that they have had to face. Since their loved ones have been missing. Why is there a division when it comes to Black versus Caucasian cases? When there shouldn't be any. Where are we having the issues when it comes to law enforcement? I get really deep and up close and personal in this documentary. like I said, it's very emotional. They
Mhm.
take a look into my life and the things that I do, far as advocating for missing persons. They were very fascinating in the work, you know,
Mhm.
that I have been able to, just the things that I know, the things that I have talked about. That's why it's just been going on and on and on. It's like I have endless research when it comes to
Mhm.
missing persons, and to
Well,
be
I know.
able to share all of that,
Uh-huh.
yeah, to be able to share all of that is very overwhelming. Like I said, it's one of them things where it's much needed. It's going to be the first of its kind,
Mhm.
centered on Black and missing. I look at a lot of shows, and I've been looking at a lot of them here lately. And I
Mhm.
can honestly say that Black cases don't get featured,
Well, I know
as
that's
much.
one thing. That was a
Yeah.
big thing that attracted me to you, is that we
Mm-hmm.
75,000 Black women missing, and the
Yeah.
mainstream media has not touched it, has not touched it, and it's
Yeah.
so
I
many
was looking at,
challenges.
like,
Go ahead.
yeah, you can look on, like, Hulu, and you can look on Netflix and things like that, and you can see documentaries on
Right.
missing white folks. You
Hmm.
don't see any on Black folks. You don't
Yeah.
see these families telling these horrific stories on
Hmm.
how their, Black loved one, went missing. It's crazy. So it's
Well,
been, this has been like a year of work put into
right.
this.
Right.
It's been working on this documentary for a year, to
Hmm.
try to get as much information,
Hmm.
out there. And I'm just happy, that we're able to have something like this.
Hmm.
I'm very happy to have my family featured.
Right.
Also, they will be featuring the case of Breasia Terrell, the 10-year-old who went missing June the 10th from Davenport, Iowa. I got
Hmm.
her case featured. Also, the case of Olga Oro, who was
Right.
also reported missing July the 17th.
Right.
Um, I had a very intimate, emotional conversation with her dad.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
That's added into the documentary. On the 30th, we're going to do a candlelight visual, and we're going to pass out flyers in front of her building. Well, she
Hmm.
she doesn't live there anymore because we had to go last Thursday and
Hmm.
clean out her apartment. Yeah,
That
so
that could
um,
not be easy. But again,
no,
the mainstream media, you're pushing them, if you will. You and HBO are pushing them to shine. You have shown the light. We
mm,
need that light shining consistently. Because again, the way that we do that is you're doing step one. Step
mm-hmm,
two is the ballot box. Getting those
right,
folks on the hill to pay
yeah,
attention to our community, just like they did those girls who were missing went missing in the 1960s, and two sisters.
mm-hmm,
They stayed with that, and I don't think that case got solved. That case, excuse me, got solved within the past 5 years. So you talking about at least almost 45, 50 years
yeah.
for a
I
white
mean,
person, and we
these
can't get
need
anything.
closure. These
Yeah.
families need closure. Like right now, they have made an arrest. 55-year-old Donnell Sterling was
Right.
arrested for the murder of Olga Oro, but her family has not had closures. They don't have closure because we have not found Olga.
Right.
So
That's it.
law enforcement has their case. They have their man. They're going to be able to get their conviction. And a lot
Right.
of times, that's all they're worried about. They're
Right.
not worried that the family still has not found their loved one. And I
Mm-hmm.
have a problem with that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I really have a problem with that because, like I said, they don't look past. We don't find. We don't find nobody here. You know,
Right.
yes, we get these convictions. Yes, we get these people sentences and all of that stuff. But we don't. These families don't have closure.
That's it.
They
That's
don't.
it. And that's where some of that money from these police budgets needs to go.
Needs
It
to
needs to go.
go. They really need to take time out and look for these people. They really
Exactly.
do. They're not looking for them. You know,
Right.
me, Julie Stroman, and Tiffany AZ, we passed out 5,000 flyers on
Mm-hmm.
behalf of Olga.
Right.
That's
Right.
something that
Right.
the law enforcement should have done. You know what I'm saying? We helped
Or a new, wait a
man
minute,
locked up.
or
He was
a
locked
picture
up
on the
5 days
news.
after she went missing.
A picture on
5
the
days
news
after she
will go
went
a
missing,
long
they
way.
had to arrest. Why? Because the
Uh-huh.
dedicated advocates like myself who get
Right.
out here and get to work. And this was going on in the midst of the coronavirus.
Exactly.
You know, so
I,
it's
we can get our arms around a lot more stuff once we have a thinking person at the head of our government. I believe that. But I also know that they can't do it without us. And that's a point that I want to drive home to all the listeners. We have got to get involved, roll up the sleeves. We got to get in, got to get in the mix.
forward. I look forward to going back down to, to the Senate office buildings, hand delivering letters, talking to those senators,
Mm-hmm.
on these issues and staying involved. I can't wait to outside open back up. I really
Yeah.
can't. I
Yeah.
can't wait to outside open back up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah.
again, we can't go to Annapolis, Upper Marlboro. We can't go nowhere because all of those offices,
Nope.
excuse me,
Nope.
are shut down. So email and phone call are our tools now. We got to open our toolbox and use our tools.
Yes. And so the people who have never been inside of those offices, y'all, this is the time to use the phone, use
Mm-hmm.
the your computer as
Mm-hmm.
your tool. This is the time you have to leave the privacy of your home. You can do it right there in your home. Please
Exactly.
participate. Like something that we even with this newly elected president, like a
Mm-hmm.
closed mouth don't get fed. How many times I'm going to say that? That
Keep
that
saying it.
statement is not a thing. That
Mm-hmm.
statement means a lot of things. A closed mouth don't get fed.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what it really means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at your life, the things
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing in your life by not even opening your mouth. Most of the time, all you have to do is just open your mouth.
That's it. Say something. Say something.
Make a phone call.
That's it. Ain't no whole lot to that. And it ain't
No.
no whole lot it doesn't take a whole lot to do that. Budget 15 minutes a day to do that. Just to
Right.
make calls. 15 minutes ain't no big part of your day, but it
Yes.
can make a world of difference. It really can.
You can make that phone call to call somebody and gossip about some goddamn body and talk about something. You can make that phone call.
Uh-huh.
Use a little or less energy to do something positive.
That's it.
Okay? Because
Mm-hmm.
it don't take much energy to go. Once you start talking and you start speaking, it's going to just roll off your tongue and you're going to be doing it every day. Trust me. Just
Mm-hmm.
try it one time.
That's
For you
it. So
all.
a lot of people have reached out to me through Messenger. Well, I don't know what to say. Say what you feel. Say
That's right.
what you see.
That's right. What's
Mm-hmm.
going on? It's time.
Yeah,
That's the
ain't no whole lot to that.
No, it's not. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
not. Yes, this was a great show. Shoot, where we go?
Always, always.
Oh,
I love hanging out with you, Blaq.
yes, it was. No, yes, it was. I can't wait to get back in the studio though, but this will do for now.
Yes, indeed. we're doing this next week too, and we're going in the studio on the first week of in December, right? That's how we,
Yeah,
okay. I just want to be clear. You the boss. I just work here.
yeah,
Okay.
next week. I think it just would be bad.
Okay.
I've been pushing it a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Only
it's
do what
best.
you need to do. But that with a spoon, that's important. That's important. Our young
We
people need to know
will
that.
be back at full effect with special guests, newly appointed Circuit Court Judge for Prince George's County, Miss Gladys Witherspoon, and
Yes.
hosting the first Know Your Rights seminar on Black Roses Garden Community Radio. So
Yeah.
get ready for that. Okay.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes. So now it's 6:15. We
Okay.
are
Do you want to count our blessings?
huh? Yeah,
Do
go
you
ahead.
want to close? Yeah. Yeah. I got to do that because we got some blessings to count in that moron is going to be gone in 60 less than 60 days now. So we
Yes,
need to
indeed.
count our blessings instead of our crosses,
Yes,
and count
Lord.
our gains
God is
and
good.
our losses, count our joys instead of our woes. Count your friends, people, instead of your foes. Count your smiles instead of your tears. Count your courage instead of your fears. Count your full ears instead of your lean. Please count your kind deeds instead of your mean. Count your health instead of your wealth, and by all means, you better count on God instead of yourself. This is 821.
And Black Rose, thank you so much.
Yes, indeed.
I see.
And we're out.
All right. Yes, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Like I said, I am a little tired. I'm getting ready to go get me another hot cup of tea and go turn these jets on and take me a nice hot soothing bath. Y'all stay safe. Share the live video. Um, I'll be back tomorrow for a few minutes. We're gonna be going live every day. Um, like I said, just trying to stay safe and stay out the way, not trying to get caught up in this mess. So if you don't have to go outside, please don't. Try to stay safe. When you do go outside, wear your mask. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Okay, I love y'all. Happy Saturday, and y'all